Hey everyone, excited to show you a recent update to Ressio in our invoice flexibility update. We've got examples here that I've created for a fixed price and a cost plus project, and in another video we'll go over deposit workflows and things like that, and how we can use this to create nice enhanced workflows within Ressio. So in this example, I have a fixed price project. I've added some base cost items, and I went ahead and already processed a change order here as well. And where you'll see the impact of this update is on the invoices page or on the budget. You can do invoicing from there as well. I can do a new invoice either by percent, by amount, from changes, doesn't really matter. In this case, I'm going to do a new invoice by percent. And from here, once that is pulled up, you're going to see the usual kind of top section here where I can see all of the lines across my project. I can say, well, great, I'm going to do a 10% draw across this project. But two new buttons that you're going to see here at the bottom are going to be add from changes and add additional items. Add from changes allows us to add on any change order items to this project. So if I click add from changes here, it's going to pop up and show me all of my change orders, and I can choose that one here. And then I can open this back up here to see from progress, and I can say, great, I'm going to do a 10% draw across the project here and update that. Close that up. And then I'm also going to add in my change order. And this works for positive and for negative change orders. So the advantage of this is that if you have a credit change back to your customer from a change order or from a selection, you're not going to be stuck with a negative invoice that you have to cut the check back to a customer. More than likely, you'll be able to just tack this on and add or subtract this amount to the original invoice. So I can also add additional line items here. This would be for instances where you might want to bill the customer for a deposit that we'll talk about in a future workflow. It's also where you could credit back that deposit as well. That's going to be really impactful on our cost plus projects as well. And so from here, I've made all these changes, and I would just come in here and kind of make these updates, close this out, and I'm going to have my invoice here that's going to show from progress and the portion of my invoice that's going to show from changes. And so I can see I've got all of my line items here. I've got change order number 1, and I'm doing a total invoice for $3,014.75. Let's switch over to our excuse me, cost plus option here with our cost plus test project. So in this instance, I've created a similar estimate that I've got some items on, but I did also go ahead and add in a couple expenses, one expense in this instance. And so again, what I can do here is do a new invoice. In this case, I'm going to do a new invoice from actuals. And very similar. So the top here is going to be that same invoice from actuals where I can see all of my individual bills, their markups and everything like that. But what I can also do now is add additional items. It's going to be pretty rare that you're going to do from changes on an open book project. But what I could do here is say a project management fee. And the reason I'm doing it this way is that for my projects, I work off of a hybrid model where I bill off of my actual expenses and then do a flat dollar value for my project management fee. And that's not going to show up as an expense on the project. So that's the kind of nice thing here is that if I want my project management fee or any other kind of fees to show up as expenses, I would just create bills for them and invoice from those actuals. But there are many instances where I would just want to charge a fee to the customer for what you might call a billable non-expense, where this is something I want to invoice the customer for, but I don't want it to show up as an expense on the project. And so from here, I can add in my project coordination, my cost, and all of that. I'm going to hit save. And in this instance, I'm actually going to release, quote unquote, the invoice and send this out to a customer. Again, you'll see we've got from actuals and additional items here for project management fee. But the reason I wanted to release this one is I can show you when this project updates, that extra money I've charged for my project management fee is not showing up as an actual. If I scroll to the right here, it's just showing up as something that I have invoiced the customer for. So I've got $16.25 that I've invoiced the customer for, and it's just showing up there. So it's going to really be kind of pure profit on my project. So it's not an expense, it's just a bill in that instance. So this is going to allow for a lot of flexibility with hybrid billing models. This is going to allow for a lot of flexibility with collecting a customer deposit or collecting a deposit for services that you're going to render in the future. Maybe you're pre-purchasing some materials, and then you'll be able to credit these back. by simply creating a negative additional item on the invoice using the same cost code. And we'll go over that workflow on a future video. But as you can see, this is going to offer us a lot of flexibility when it comes to unifying fixed price and cost plus project invoicing and really cut down on the number of invoices that we have to generate. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Our CS team and our support team are happy to help you out with this and recommend workflows and just kind of talk through things. But I think it's going to be a really impactful change. Thanks.